Hey guys, Dave here from Design Upgrade Pro for H5P, and we're going to look at the memory game design options here for the memory game content type. Before we look at the options, I want to mention that the card front is what you see by default. So all of these right now have the front of the card, and then the card back is what's initially hidden, but once you click on it, then the back of the card is shown. So just wanted to get those definitions straight so that as you're setting these color options, you know what you're changing. Another important thing to note is that I mentioned it down here in the card front icon hover. There is no setting that we have in our plugin for this gold color of the question mark right now. That's because you can set that in H5P itself. So we didn't want to add an extra option that we didn't need to. So when you're creating the memory game content type, you just need to choose under look and feel. There's an option for theme color, and that's in the H5P settings for the memory game as you're creating the content. So just set your theme color to be whatever you want the question mark icon to show up like on the front of the card. Then you can come here in our plugin and change what the color of it on hover. So the other two options here are for the front of the card or for the background and the background hover. So we've got this teal green, and then we've got a red on hover. So you'll notice as we hover, there's the red, and then the question mark changes to green, which is this icon hover color here. One other thing about the front of the card is that in H5P, you can use an image for the front of the card. If you're doing that, there will be no question mark. It'll just be the image that you use. But if you do set this background hover color with our plugin, that will show up over top and replace the image on hover. So if you want the image to show up the entire time, then it'd probably be best for you not to change any of the card front options and just play around with the card back option if you want. So that's if you're using a custom image for these. But if you're not and you want the colors, then go ahead and set these handful of colors here for the front of the card. And then the card background color is exactly what you think it is. If your image doesn't fill the entire space in the back, then we've got this dark blue above and below our image here, and that's the card background color. The final thing I'll show you is once you've answered all of these correctly, I just want to show you one other option for the reset button that shows up at the end. And before I get there, I will also mention, just like everything else, the global border radius from the General Design tab is also being applied to these cards as well. So I just wanted to show you this final option. I got this one correct. I guessed both frogs. You'll notice that the close icon here is using the incorrect dark color from our General Design tab. We've got the border radius being applied to the corners around here. This down here is using your main text color from General Design as well. And then this is what I wanted to show you guys, this reset button. This is going to use the dark correct color from our General Design tab. So whatever you set here for the correct success dark is going to be applied to this reset button here. So that is everything for the memory game.